K-drama school. Lovely to be here. I just got off the road. I was in Chicago over the weekend, did a couple shows at Den Theater and Zany's Comedy Club, historic, very, yeah, it's a historic comedy club. And it was a really lovely time. As you all know, I love Chicago. I've only been in Madison for 6 weeks and I've been to Chicago 3 times. So that will be an indication of how much I love the city. And yeah, shows were great. I also did stand up at the Milwaukee Improv, and that was a lovely time. Really lovely audiences, really beautiful comedians, excellent comedians. I had a good time. So weekend of weekend on the road was really excellent. I had a great time. Folks, I want to talk about a show that just dropped on Netflix, and it's a very bingeable show because it is a thriller. And I'm going to talk about it both this week and next week. I have to split it up because I haven't had the time to watch every single episode yet. But it's like, I mean, I'm going through them. Okay, so I watched the first 4 episodes, so I'll cover the next 4 next week. But there's a show called The Frog. It's on Netflix. It is directed by Mo Wan, who is the director of The World of the Married, right? Which is a huge K drama, big hit. And Moanye really knows how to build suspense. He knows how to build anxiety, paranoia. He knows how to, like, he's like a composer. He knows how to orchestrate the senses into the heights. Yeah. And so I I was like, okay, it's just a TV show. Check it out. But no, it's beautiful. Like this guy, Moanye, he's a filmmaker at heart. And that's something I noticed in World of the Married too. Like really beautiful dynamic shots camera work wise, like a lot of movement. They're very beautiful, very cinematic. Like this guy's a filmmaker. He's a filmmaker making excellent Korean TV. I really appreciate him. If you guys if you guys like movies, maybe he's comparable to like the Safdie brothers. The Safdie brothers, they did Uncut Gems and Good Time, and they're really great at making you have an anxiety attack as you're watching their shows or their films rather. Like you do need to take a Xanax if you want to watch their movies because it's so like physically intense. You just feel the anxiety ripping through your body as you're watching those movies. And that's what Mo Wan-yu does in The Frog. It is a thriller, it is a psychological thriller, but it's also horror because it's terrifying. You know, like I was watching this in my hotel room and I'm like, I'm freaking out. Like, this is scary. It's like a scary experience because the show's terrifying. There's this actress in there named Ko Min-shi, who I don't know who she is, but man, is she amazing. I mean, she's beautiful. Brilliant actress. I mean, she knows how to turn on the psychopath in her. And she did a couple of other shows. Like she was in Cheese in the Trap. She was also in Live, okay? But I don't remember her from these shows. Like she wasn't memorable because she wasn't playing a big deal lead like she is on this. I mean, she's not quite the lead. She's more like the antagonist on the show, but oh my god, terrifying. I was like genuinely scared of her while watching this TV show, but super impressive. Kim Yoon-suk is also a major deal on this series. Kim Yoon-suk is more of a film actor, but he's on this TV show, and he hasn't done TV in a long time. Like the last time he's done TV was like almost 20 years ago, and so you know, the fact that he's on a show like this is really a testament to the show's quality. I would say the show really feels cinematic in many ways. I'm pretty sure this was like probably written for the big screen, but then they adapted it to make it into a TV show and funnel it to Netflix. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But it's like it's worth it because the show's amazing. The show's pacing has like the quality of a thriller series, and so it works. Yi Jung-eun is also on this show. She's playing the cop. Lee Jung-eun is just amazing. She's kicking ass. She's on so many TV shows like every single year. I see her all the time. I love Lee Jung-eun. And I did not think that Lee Jung-eun could be um like this kind of role, like playing like a police officer, and yet here she is playing a police officer. Very different from her other kinds of roles where, she's like a lot more up and intense. Like here she's very composed. She has authority, she has ground, like it's a very different kind of vibe and I'm digging it. Lee Jung-eun is a brilliant actress. Yoon Ge-sang is also on this show, and to be honest, like I've never liked him. Yeah, he was part of God. Like when he was on God, like everybody loved him. But like I wasn't a God fan. I don't like Yoon Ge-sang. I think anytime he's on TV, I think he sucks. There's just something about him that's very annoying. But on this show, he's pretty good. He's actually really great because he's playing a character where some tragedy has befallen his business and his family, and he's like coping with it. He's dealing with it the best he can. And I was just like, okay, like this I could tolerate. This kind of Yungesang I could deal with. So, um, anyway, interesting series. I really strongly recommend that you watch it so that we could talk about it more next week. But yeah, other than that, oh, I will also mention this. Ryu Hyungyung, Ryu Hyungyung. Her name is so hard to pronounce. Ryu Hyungyung. She is playing the wife to Yoon Ge-sang's character. What happened is like their pension, their little Airbnb cabin situation, there was a murder that took place, and then it ended up on the news, and then their business went to shit. Yeah, it ruined their lives. So the show is really dealing with like, let's say there's a murder. It didn't happen to you personally, but it did happen on your property. It happened in your vicinity. How is that going to impact you? Does it impact you? And in this case, the argument is clearly yes. Yes, it does. Anyway, Ryu Hyungyang, her performance is remarkable. Is like really astounding. She's excellent. She's like better than Yoon Ge-sang. She's like on par with like Kim Yoon-suk. I'd put her up there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really, really knows how to bring it. Loving her performance. And I mentioned this before, but this is a definite pattern, and I think I'm gonna end up writing a paper about it. But it's like, what is it with these like rural areas in Korean TV and cinema? You see a lot in cinema, but what is it with these like rural areas and murdering? Yeah, like serial killing happening in rural areas. What does it say about the psyche or the unconscious? Like what's going on down there that is creating these kinds of narrative patterns? So that is the question I'll be dealing with next week on this podcast. Stay tuned. If you haven't purchased my book, it is available as a hardcover, paperback, audiobook, ebook. You could get K Drama School, a pop culture inquiry into why we love Korean television. You could get this anywhere you get your books. You could even get it at the library. And if it's not at the library, you can ask your librarian to order it for you. There you go. So enjoy the book. If you love the book, please give it a nice review on Amazon. That goes a long way. Give it 5 stars if you love the book. If you don't, be honest. I don't care. Just express yourselves. But if you love the book, please leave a review because those reviews matter. If you love this podcast, you can support me on Patreon, patreon.com/kdramaschool. You can become a contributing donor. You can also follow me on Instagram at Grace Jung Comedy. You could also follow me at K Drama School. And that'll be all for today. I will see you all next week.